Hello, welcome to our conversation. We wanted to take a few minutes out of your day to talk about optimism and that Americans are this generation is an optimistic generation. And living in optimism, you actually have to experience negative behavior. Otherwise, you're just on a trajectory up, but with no purpose in life. So it's interesting because actually Americans live in pessimism, and that's why we've been so successful and why we communicate so well to each other is because we actually spend a lot of time talking about what isn't going well, and I love it. I think it's a great place to be. I think it's the only way to succeed in business because it brings success and you get to experience what it means to be in optimism. So if everything's consistently going your way based on the part, like this is the concern, is it's all based on the surface level encounters. There's no real momentum in any of it. It's just this vicious circle of constant partying, it's like there's nothing, it's like just a wheel of nothing. There was no excitement yesterday when it came to opening up Fly Fish Club. It was like, okay, well, he's opened up another business. Congrats. And that's because they've consistently tried to elevate people and then bash them down, and then elevate and then bash, and then elevate and bash. And it's a constant, there's no optimism in that. Then they bring in the joy and happiness, but that doesn't bring joy and happiness. Partying and cheering and singing and dancing doesn't bring happiness and joy. It's a cover up for your pain to get you high on supply. So what it looks like when it comes to the Kamala Harris campaign is it's going to be a 6-week party session of people constantly saying that they're the victims, and then a party session to cover up the victimization with a lot of talk around fueled, organized agenda, where they abuse audiences. So example would be today, we had a video put out with this woman named Nicole Lapin, and in the video, she asked him if he wants to buy a car or lease a car, and he said lease. That's some dirty business, but that's the way he thinks in business. I would rather own a car than lease a car because I put value on my hard work for something. Another question they asked was, have you ever spent a large amount on wine? He said, yeah, I've spent a ton of money on wine. That's kind of an obvious question, but it was more about the focus point of how much money do you have. So all this talk around money is the world of where we're at in society at this point. And money doesn't bring happiness. It actually brings misery. So what would be needed is optimism for the low class, and pessimism enters into all the elite of LA and of New York City, because they're trying to steal all that from you. Now they're trying to steal it from you as viewers. That's why you're so evil and not fun to hang out with anymore. That's why you can't talk to the person at the counter without having a battle over absolutely nothing. It's because of people like Nicole Lapin. Because they create a disconnect in reality for them to want to live in delusion, which they call desires and aspirations, while they try to teach you about money, yet they don't say anything about money. There's not 1 ounce of conversation in that conversation between Nicole Lapin and Gary Vee that had anything to do with teaching you about what you should do with your money. It's all about how much money they have. Have you ever argued with a partner or a spouse about money? No, I've never done that. Really? So now you're taking a look at the trajectory of how great their whole life has been. Unrealistic expectations. Then the question was, what was the other question? The other question, I can't remember what the other question was. The point is, credit cards. Do you ever look at your credit cards? He said no. That's not very good advice to your audience. But that's because they have so much money that they don't look at their credit cards. So we can't have this. It's not that I don't want it. If you had something to say and something to offer, then it would be something to take a look at for the growth of a nation. However, there is no giving, there's only taking. There is no knowledge of the apple from the tree of knowledge. There is no knowledge exchanging. There's no communication. There's no ability. I'd like to bring in an example would be Bella Dolan and their weird, nasty mothering and fathering behavior with a child named Story. When she only gets excited when she's at her origami owl and brags that she started it when she was 14. Well, the husband's never worked a day in his life. Now, a real logic philosopher, human being who has something to say would be like, that is the worst life that I've ever seen. That is not a journey of a life. That's literally a stalemate life of no adventure. And you can see the results of that with Bella Dolan and their reactions to Story. They say, so cute, so cute, so cute, so cute, so cute. That's called a program. So when you hear someone repeatedly say the same thing over and over, like Gary Vee does, like Mona Van, eat clean, eat clean, eat clean, eat clean, eat clean, desires, 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 desires. That is not human. That behavior that they're exhuming into our faces, and you can say all day long not to look at what they're producing. However, the problem with that is that it's all in your face and you can't, it's a train wreck, it's a car crash. He's on CNN and NBC and MSNBC, and then their pictures are on Getty Images, and they're in the spotlight, and that one's in the spotlight, and you can't get away from it. Look in the middle of New York City with a nasty Alex Earl. There's your example of the future of this country. Because no one's holding anyone accountable, and they're all running around telling everyone to be nice. You go be nice. How about you try it? You try being nice. See, they want other people to bow down to their needs while they abuse you to your face, and you're in a robotic, anti-human, no communication or conversation. And then when they find someone who has a form of humanity in them, they take their humanity and they squeeze them dry to make sure that nobody wins except for them. And that is the fact of what was seen at Fly Fish Club last night with all of Gary Vee's fan base. See, they're bragging in your face and not inviting you to the party. Then they're robbing you of all your feelings inside and creating upbeat joy and happiness called anxiety and suppression and a dead life, while a woman brags about her diamond and spreads her legs and thinks that me saying that is her attention grabbing, which it's now starting to land on all of you, how sick these people are.